Hello, it's your boy Will, back at it again, another video. Here I am. Hi, great to see you. I got a question today that's in my head, and I want to throw it down with you guys. Okay, so the question I'm gonna bat at today is, what does awareness feel like? So, I guess a bit of background on this question. I guess I feel in my life I hear people being like, oh, I'm aware of this, I know this, whatever, right? I know this is a problem, but it hasn't been like quote unquote resolved or whatever, right? And I hear this when people like talk about emotional challenges and emotional issues. And I guess when I use this word awareness, I feel like there's a difference in what some people mean by awareness versus maybe what I mean by awareness. So I wanted to make this video to talk about the difference between those. So I guess when I think about awareness and like how awareness feels to me, awareness for me really feels like a catching moment that has me stop and reflect. So the orientation difference here for me and how I feel about it is like what I'm looking at, okay? So I'm thinking about like, what am I emotionally aware of? What can I emotionally not accept and accept, okay? Like logically, I know that this like situation's happened, but like, I don't know if you guys have ever felt this, but in my opinion, like our actions don't change because of logic. Our actions are more guided by our emotions, what we're emotionally attached to, some of our historic patterns of relating, what is comfortable for us. So, for me, I've been thinking about this in terms of food recently, because I'm like still trying to lose weight, and I'm currently using Mounjaro. I'm still on the starting dose. I'm still on 2.5 milligrams, and I've been doing everything kind of by the letter, by the T, exercising, eating a high protein diet, having 4 doses per pen, all of this kind of stuff. And I think for me, I'm like a very emotional eater, okay? So when I think about my relationship with food, I know that when I'm stressed, when I'm overwhelmed, my brain will be hungry, not necessarily my gut. It will be, I feel an emotion that I can't handle right now. What can I do about it? Usually, historically, that's been eat, okay? So for me, like what awareness has felt like is going, hey, I'm not feeling okay right now. If I'm honest, like I saw a picture of me from behind of like where I'm currently at, and I think part of me thought I was like further down the road than I expected to be, right? And I think it kind of, I felt shame, I guess, for not being thinner at this point, which is like weird because I'm like week 11, right, of my Mounjaro journey. I've lost 14.7 kilograms in 11 weeks. That's a lot of weight. That's a lot of weight to lose. Probably a good amount of that's water weight, but I'm pretty certain some of that's fat, and that's a lot of weight, and I'm already a lot smaller, and like the quality of life is amazingly improved. I'm like, I want to go out. I want to be running around now. I want my lifestyle to shift, and wonderful book Atomic Habits highlights that changing your lifestyle is really important. Engaging in new social circles that like encourage habits like that you want to engage with is like super useful and super helpful. And I guess for me, noticing the difference in what my body wants and the awareness of that, I think is really helping me from like not relapsing. I think the medication honestly is amazing, and it's really helping me not binge eat, which I feel, I think historically I've just overeaten because I've wanted to manage my emotions, and now I have a greater distance from the intensity of that appetite. So for me now, like, I can kind of have more awareness. Also, I've been regularly meditating, which has been really helpful. But that awareness has kind of looked like, literally had it today. I had my breakfast, I woke up, journaled, meditated, went to the gym, did a couple sessions at work. After that, I kind of saw this picture of myself that my wife sent me, and I felt that shame, and I felt, oh, I put all this work in, and I'm still, a thought in my head come up as, oh, I've put a lot of work in, I feel, over the years, and I still kind of look like that. That's disappointing. I feel disappointed. I feel shameful. And in that moment, I think my gut, part of my instinct was like, oh, I hate this feeling. I want this feeling to go away. So I thought about the food I had in my house, and I noticed it like a pot noodle kind of thing. And I thought about eating it, and then I was like, ooh, hold on. So where's that coming from? And I guess this is the awareness. This is what like awareness is like for me. So if you think of it as like a sequence, like a line, and there's like events along a line, okay? I'm noticing the little events along the line, and I'm going, whoa, let's stop on that bit of that line. What's that about? What's that about? I want to eat. Like, I didn't have all the words for that, what I'm describing now in the moment. I journaled a bit about it to kind of understand it a bit better, but it was like, oh, I just feel like I need to eat. I feel like I need to eat. Why do I need to eat? Even though my stomach's saying you're full. Like, you've got food in there, dude. You're good. Like, you've eaten breakfast. You've had a protein shake. You're like feeling gastrally full. Your stomach's full, but your brain wants you to eat more. So what's going on there? So then I like dug into it, and I was like, yeah, I'm not happy with my body. I'm getting ahead of myself. I think I emotionally, my emotional mind is like, hey, we should be thin now. Like, my logical mind understands, you know, when I lost a lot of weight prior, I'd lost 8 stone before, in my late teens, early 20s. And like, I know it takes time. It took me like, I think 12 to 18 months, if I remember correctly, doing it the last time, naturally with no support or aid. So like, I know it's a long process, even with Mounjaro. Like, that's fine and normal, and that's good because it reduces the risks of all the health problems that come with losing weight extremely quickly, like gallstones. You can get gallstones and pancreatitis and stuff like that if you lose weight really, really quickly. So I want to kind of lose weight at a reasonable, steady pace. So I was happy to go slower and feel like logically, but emotionally it's hard to like accept that, right? Because in my head there's like two different sides of the mind, right? The emotional and the logical. And my emotional mind was like, this is what we want to do, eat. And my logical mind was like, well, we don't need to do that. But instead, something that I've been finding really helpful with the awareness is like, when I notice it, let's create some space. So I take a minute, I go, hey, I'm going to like wait for a minute before I eat anything if I want to eat something. And I'll sit with the feelings before I act on the urge to emotionally satiate myself with food. So I wait this minute. And it turns out that I'm not hungry. I just feel the shame and this disappointment. And my emotional mind's kind of daydreaming about being thin. Right? And in that moment of awareness, like catching myself in that action and that motion, I don't know, I was really proud of that for me, because it's been a really hard road to be aware of how I feel food-wise, to like accept that I feel these really negative, intense emotions, and to just be able to sit with them. I think sitting with them is so huge. Just giving them time, giving yourself time to make a decision at a slower rate. Because for me, my quote-unquote addict mind would force me to make decisions really quickly. Don't think about it. Just play games, eat, YouTube, repeat, right? That's how I got to this size, right? That's how I got to being really heavy, you know, at my peak 29 stone or 183 plus kilos. Like, that's really heavy. I'm like a 30-year-old dude. I'm 6'2", so I think a lot of people are surprised that I say I'm that heavy, but I'm heavy, like 400 pounds. Like, that's a lot of weight, right? And I guess for me, I've really been trying to like improve the awareness, and I think actually as the weights come down, I've had more energy to go, I'm going to use this extra surplus energy to move more. So there's an awareness of the increase of energy. So noticing differences, right? The additional energy, I'm going to use that energy to move more because I'm getting more out of moving, and to put some more energy into cultivating spiritual practice, grounded present practice, awareness. And something I always feel I say to people is like, awareness takes energy. Awareness is hard. Awareness is challenging yourself, stopping yourself, being slow with yourself, sitting with the hard things that happen in our experience, being honest with yourself about why you're doing what you're doing. That's really, really hard for anyone, because like I think most of us believe like we're doing good things and we're doing the best for what we have in front of us, and that we care about the people we care about in our lives. And if we don't, we feel a lot of shame about that usually. And being aware costs energy and it feels hard. That's why we all get on autopilot so easy. You know, it's kind of like lifting a mental muscle all the time, right? We're like used to walking a certain way and it's kind of like on autopilot. And I'm kind of saying, hey, like lift your legs out in a really weird way while you're walking. That feels really weird. That feels really pointless. That feels kind of bizarre, right? And like in that specific example, it is. But I feel when we cultivate awareness practices, that is where change happens. It's in the awareness. And I've been trying to cultivate this awareness for years. And that's why one of the reasons why, since I started taking Manjaro, I feel really lucky that I've been able to just go super low, dose-wise, really slow, because I try and be aware of what's happening in my body. I think it helps my relationships. I think it helps my work. I think it helps me lead a more fulfilling life and keep aligned with like what I want. And that means being tough with myself and being like, Will, this isn't something maybe you care about. Maybe you're doing this because you want to like be friends with this person, or like your people-pleasing tendencies are coming up, or you kind of want to be seen, to be heard, to be cared for by your family, for example. So like, let's gloat about this stuff, but like that's pulling us away from having more present, honest relationships that are more nourishing. So like, I feel some people get really frustrated and annoyed when awareness comes in because they don't want to be aware because they have to acknowledge certain truths. And I was like that for a very long time. There are still probably parts of me that I'm probably not acknowledging now. But I'm trying to sniff them out. And I'm trying to be honest with myself. And I'm trying to be like, hey, you are a guy doing your best. And you, viewer, right now, you're a person doing your best. And I care about you. I may or may not know you, but I appreciate you. And you might be struggling in you're probably struggling in ways I don't understand. But I believe in your ability to look a little more at yourself and be with a little bit more. And that's hard. And if you even consider that after this video, I'm proud of you. And if you don't, I get it. It's hard. So in my opinion, that's what awareness feels like. I'm going to leave it there for today. You've been wonderful. I've been Will. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.